Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Amelie Selling Podcast. It's so good to have you here, and it's so good to be back on track. Even though these episodes have not been perfect, have not been 1.5 hours long, but still we're showing up, and that's all there is. So I honestly did not plan this episode, but I just wanted to show up and share some beautiful light codes with you, some nice energy, because I'm feeling good and I want to share this kind of energy. And one thing that's just coming to my mind right now and that came up to me before I hopped on here is the is spontaneity. Spontaneity in general. If you know me, like if you really know me, like if you're this means if you're like my mom, dad, and sister, like really close, my really, really close circle, and my aunt, um, you will know that I used to be the least spontaneous person ever, probably. I'm a very I would be very, very in my head, and still now I like understanding things with my mind, and it's like, why am I doing this? What's the reason for this? So I still like to understand things with my mind, but still I feel like I have or am in the process of mastering the art of spontaneity. And I feel like it truly is an art form because life is meant to be lived in a spontaneous way. And I've been reading a lot of Osho recently. Osho was probably, I think, Love, Freedom, and Aloneness was like the first quote unquote spiritual personal development kind of book that I read when I was like 16, I would say. And Osho talks a lot about spontaneity and like not pre-planning things because that means you're out of flow with the now. Because every single now moment holds so much potential. And when you act from a place of living in the now, there is no other way to live spontaneously. So we could say like this even goes like into like when you have, let's say you're on a project, whatever it is in life, in business, whatever, and you have a plan A. You always have to have a plan B or C. And then most of the time, at least for me, things happen and it's not even been your plan. Like it's plan D or E or whatever it is. And this is great because yes, we can plan things, but life oftentimes throws you into another direction, into a direction where you're meant to go. And you can't really pre-plan those things. And also, it's so much easier, not easier, because like we've been trained basically our entire lives to make plans and live according to those plans. But what I'm realizing more and more, and I'm not a master of it, but what I'm in the process of mastering is the art of spontaneity, which means to just be in the moment and make decisions. Testing, testing. Okay, you guys, my phone just fell down. Hold on a sec. Okay, let's all please pray for my phone that it stays here because my phone already fell down and it has so many cracks, and to like get it redone would be a whole ordeal. But anyways, we were talking about the art of spontaneity. So if you take anything from this episode, are we recording? Yes. If you take anything from this episode is to try and be a little bit more spontaneous. And you may already be that kind of person that's like, okay, we're just going to go with the flow. Maybe that's an invitation for you to find that balance and also try to create plans. I feel like what I'm like thinking right now is like, I feel like in life, yes, it's great to be spontaneous, but it's also great to be prepared. So I'm not saying to like not make any plans at all or like to be like completely unorganized. I feel like that's super important too. And I feel like it's about finding a balance and a way that works for you. So, like, yes, being spontaneous, being in the moment, and making decisions in the moment that are right for whatever it is, and then also being prepared. Or, like, if you go on a trip, for example, like, you may want to check the weather to pack the right clothes. But then when you're there and you're like, okay, I planned outfit A for Monday, but I'm feeling something completely different on Monday, then you may want to wear something else. Does that make sense? Sorry for the little noise. That was an airplane that flew really low, or like a helicopter. Because I'm filming this outside, I really wanted to like encode this episode with beautiful nature vibration. So, yeah, the art of spontaneity. I feel like also this can be a great journal prompt for you, like if you're really just sitting and being like the art of spontaneity, like what's coming to you. And I feel like also what's coming to me right now is like when we were all children, like we were just living in the moment. Like that was when we were all truly spontaneous and like living from an aligned place. And we have mastered the art of spontaneity. And it's just like through societal conditioning that we have been trained to let go of this like childlike play and wonder and spontaneity. And it's just for us, like it's up to us to really remember that. So yeah, just wanting to share a little inspiration for you this, I don't know when this will be released, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, whenever you're listening to this. I feel like this is also great for just like contemplation. Like if you go throughout the rest of your day today or night or whenever you're listening to this, you can really think like, where could I be more spontaneous? Or like, what does spontaneity mean to me? And I feel like it means something so different to anybody. So if you're watching this right now on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, please feel free to share in the comments like what spontaneity means to you. And I believe you could also comment it on Spotify because I'd be really curious. The reason why I wanted to talk about it is because I feel like I've become a lot more spontaneous. Like I shared in one of the previous podcast episodes that one day I was really spontaneous and I went kite surfing with my dad, which usually I would have taken me like a week to like get my mind to a place where I'm like, okay, I can go, like I'm in the right mindset. But I was just like, I don't know, like it was like he was asking me and I was just like, at first I was like, no, but then I like jumped over my inner like monkey mind or whatever it is. In German, it's the Schweinehund. I don't know the English terminology right now, but it's like I overcame like my inner demon sort of holding me back. And that led to a beautiful day. And yeah, it was great. And also when we do things that are out of our comfort zone and things that are not how we usually do things or what we usually do, we are actually also creating new neural pathways in our brain. And I could get all scientific on this, but I really can't because I don't have the studies in front of me. But I've heard that most of us, like pretty much everyone, we're using like a really, really small amount of our brain. Like I don't know if it's like 1%, 10%, but like a really small amount. So there's like so much stuff for us to still explore. Like we're using only a tiny part of our brains because like we do the same things every day. So when we venture out of our comfort zones, we're creating new neural pathways in our brains. And I feel like that's really healthy to do. So like try new things, be spontaneous. We're also moving into Leo season soon. And then I feel like in a couple of days it's about to be Leo season, and Leo is all about like shining joy, inner child, and I feel like spontaneity is just perfect for that. We're in the middle of summer, but even when you're listening to this 6 months from now and it's like we're in the middle of winter, you can still call upon this energy and be like, how can I be more spontaneous today? How can I use spontaneity to my advantage in my work, in my relationships, in my home, whatever it is. So, yeah, I feel like it's just a really great concept. And I actually have never read a book about spontaneity, but I know that it's really a really interesting concept, especially if you're a type A kind of person like me that likes to have things planned out, figured out. But over these past few years, I've just come to experience, and I'm sure I will still continue to experience, the dismantling of so many mental constructs that I have created for myself, that society has created for me. And I think we're all in the process of breaking free of that. And then also on like a global level, we can see so many constructs breaking down, be it politically, economically. I feel like the systems that we're living in do not work anymore. And that's why we see so much chaos and so much breaking down of the old so that the new can emerge. And we're seeing that in the news. We're seeing that in like even in your own life where you feel like everything is lost and like things are changing. And even though it may seem daunting, I feel like this is also a good sign, because what no longer serves you is breaking down so that you can let it go, that it can be cleansed, and that a new sustainable way of living, new systems that actually benefit our mental, emotional, spiritual health and well being, and not just a small amount of people in the world, but actually everyone in the world. And I also know that this takes time, and it's a very idealistic thing to be like, everything's good in the world. It takes time, it takes the breaking down of so many old systems, but I also think that it's up to us to hold the vision of a better future and to start small. And this is also a reminder for myself, like everything I'm saying here, I'm saying to myself too, like I'm not perfect, but it's up to us to create this change. And this can start really small with yourself. One, it's like the relationship you have with yourself, your self-talk. And if you are able, like, this is like it's a constant process. Like, you're never done. But I feel like the more you train that, and the more you want to put an effort into raising your own frequency and vibration, the better you become at it. It's almost like a muscle that you can train. And then when you feel like you figured it out, everything starts collapsing again, so that you can go through another death cycle and building new systems and structures that are even more benefiting to you. Um, yeah, so it really starts with you, and then with the people around you, how you treat the people around you. It can really start really small, because you've probably heard of the butterfly effect, where like when a butterfly flaps its wings somewhere in Texas, there can be a hurricane set free on the complete opposite side of the world. And again, like I don't have the scientific data on it, but like even metaphorically speaking, a really small positive act, like an intentionally positive act, can have a really big impact on someone's life. Like, you probably all remember a time where like you had a bad day, and then someone, like maybe it was the cashier, just smiled at you and said something nice to you. And from then on, you feel like you felt heard, you felt taken care of. It was just like a small gesture, but it really shifted your day. So you may have probably heard about that. So yeah, this is just an invitation for you to do new things, to be kind to yourself and others, to start small, and let go of these like mental constructs. So that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Like, follow, share, all the good stuff if you like this episode. Also, if you could leave me a review, that would help the podcast so much. Thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. You can find me on Instagram also, Amelie Saling, and I will see you in the next episode. Much